Chapter 2. Let's begin.
I am Boba Fett.
How do you do, G-Pod crew? It's your Nutty Buddy Putty here, and today we're going to be talking about Chapter 2 of the Book of Boba Fett, titled The Tribes of Tatooine. And this will be a full breakdown, so spoiler alert, we will be talking about crucial parts of the episode and anything that I can discover for you in this full breakdown done pretty quickly. So let's get started. Now, for our first bit of information when it comes to this episode, you'll notice a gentleman was sent by the mayor to speak with Boba, and they end up putting him into the RANCOR pit. Now, if you remember, the RANCOR pit was actually in the Return of the Jedi, where Luke Skywalker ends up being dropped into the RANCOR pit and ends up meeting up with this character, the RANCOR. Now, keep in mind, another great thing that you might not have noticed is the character that gets thrown into the RANCOR speaks a different language. That is HUTTESE. That is the Hutt language, aka Jabba the Hutt, or any other Hutts that speak that language. So you're starting to see more and more of the Hutt language and things that are associated with Jabba the Hutt and his palace in this episode, literally in this first scene right here. So it is nice to see the RANCOR pit being used, even though it clearly was empty. But also HUTTESE, it also are spoken, I should say, in this episode as well. Anyway, let's continue. Now we finally meet the mayor, which is an ITHORIAN. They look like kind of like a hammerhead shark mixed with, I don't know what else, maybe some kind of squid-like head type thing. But you'll notice their head has a very much hammerhead shark type of look to it. But these are called ITHORIANs, and you actually do see an ITHORIAN in the old Star Wars movies, and they do, of course, appear periodically in the later movies as well. But, of course, if you're just wondering what the species is, it's called ITHORIAN. Let's continue. Now, you'll notice the mayor, first off, might sound a little bit odd. That's because he's wearing a translator on his head that you can see right here, which they speak through right here because their mouths are on the side when it comes to their species. But then he also brought up the Order of the Night Wind. Now, here's my thing. I've only heard Nightwind one time, which was through the desktop role-playing game. When I was younger, we used to do like D&D role-playing games. We did the Marvel role-playing game, which was amazing, which are ones that you would play with the Dungeon Master. And then there was a Star Wars role-playing game that had a freighter called the Nightwind. So, don't know if this has any connection with the pirates that own the freighter, but to hear the Nightwind used in this connotation, well, it's not really canon no matter what, so they might be just reusing the term for something new. But if you know any more about the Order of the Nightwind that I might not know, definitely tell me in the comments below. Let's continue. Next, we have the scene where Boba Fett visits the sanctuary with Garsa Fwip. If you remember from last episode, he also visits this location. Now, what I'm actually bringing up here is you'll notice, and I brought the subtitles up, that it says on the screen, and now you're sweating like a GUMPTA on Mustafar. Now, Mustafar, that's a major thing that I already know about. Mustafar is the red planet, and if you're not familiar with it, the whole planet is lava. Lava and metal industrial areas. The most famous scene you'll remember was Anakin and Obi-Wan Kenobi's scene where they fought together in Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. Now, the reason I'm bringing this up is because the one problem I'm having in this whole situation is the name GUMPTA. I never heard of it before, so I literally had to put on subtitles and then Google it. Couldn't find anything. I kept on playing GUMPTA, G-U-P-T-A, but I don't even know if that has anything to do with Star Wars. I mean, there's a name similar to GUMPTA, but it's for a Rodian, and it's a Rodian, but it just didn't have anything to do with what they said here. So I don't know if this is just a subtitle thing situation. If you guys know what he's referring to as far as a GUMPTA, please tell me. But as far as Mustafar, it's understandable he's sweating. It's a lava planet, so anybody would sweat. Why in particular GUMPTA? Maybe we'll find out later down the road. Oh my god, twin Hutts. Now they don't look the same unless they're not connected. You can definitely tell they're not connected. I haven't heard this discussion yet because for those that are not aware, when I'm doing my full breakdown, I actually talk about certain scenes that I know about, and then watch the next scene, record it, because I'm not that big of a YouTuber, so my content has to drop pretty early. But to see these two huts being carried, and then I love how it's bowing the weight because huts are always so heavy. It's so cool to see that. So apparently these are the twins. Let's find out more about them. The huts have a Wookiee. The huts have a Wookiee. And that is a badass looking Wookiee. Ooh, this show is getting good. Finally, the Gaffi stick. Now, I mentioned this in the last episode, thinking that I would see the Gaffi stick in the last episode. But they're going to continue with the flashbacks of how he ended up in the Sarlacc pit and with Mandalorian. Now, if you remember, when he met up with Mando, he was holding the Gaffi stick. And the most famous thing about the Gaffi stick came from Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope. If you remember, when Luke got attacked by the Tusken Raiders, you'll notice this Tusken Raider in particular was holding an item and waving in the air. That is a Gaffi stick. That is the most famous item in Star Wars lore, as far as like the first weapon we see, even before a lightsaber, ladies and gentlemen, is the Tusken Raider Gaffi stick. And we're finally seeing the Tusken Raider Gaffi stick training with Boba Fett. So I was wondering when this is going to come into play, since he has a Gaffi stick later on when he meets up with Mando. In Season 2 of The Mandalorian. Spoiler alert, but I'm guessing you've already seen it if you're watching this. Anyway, let's continue. Now we have the red NIKTOs, or which are the speeder bike gang you see taking over the bar. They first appeared in Star Wars Return of the Jedi, and later made more appearances in the prequels as well when it comes to Star Wars, and they actually work a lot with the Hutts. Now, I've never seen this location before, but there's a familiarity to it, so, if I do realize where we're at, then I will get back to it, but that's what these creatures are, so let's continue. I really need your help. This looks familiar. I don't know where this is, but I've seen it before, and I don't think it's in the old Star Wars movies. I mean, it looks like something from the old Star Wars movies, but I don't remember this being in any scene that I'm recollecting, and it's driving me crazy where I've seen this scene before. The background's more distinguishable. I'm going to point out reason why. These door buttons here, and then these containers here, and I feel like there's something like I've just seen this before, and I don't know where, and I don't even know how to Google or look up this area until other people make breakdowns and probably point this out to me. And I hate myself for not knowing what this is as a Star Wars fan. And it's going to drive me absolutely bonkers not realizing where I've seen this before. So please tell me in the comments below if this video gets enough views and you're one of those people that knows what I'm looking at right now. Please refresh my memory where I've seen this. And there you guys have it. That was the end of Book of Boba Fett Chapter 2, The Tribe of Tatooine, which was all about the Tusken Raider tribes. Now, as I was going through the Easter eggs, there was only one thing that I had problems with, and I don't remember exactly where to look it up. But one would be this alien species right here. I don't know who they are. And unfortunately, I know the spice, the spice of Kessel. And I do know that it also was a reference to Dune as well. So I just don't know exactly what this species is. So if you want to tell me in the comments below, I'd be happy to learn myself. And then, of course, there's the lizard here. I don't know if I've seen that before. Now, I know when it comes to the Gaffi stick of the Tusken Raiders, it's a major, major deal. So for him to get initiated and make his own Gaffi stick was in a big, integral part of him becoming part of the tribe. So this is probably going to be integral in Boba Fett as far as thing. And if you remember in the Mandalorian series, the Tusken Raiders had a lot. Tusken Raiders are a very, very popular group of characters in the Star Wars lore. But I love to see that the Disney Plus shows are using that as a big integral storyline to all the Mandalorians. And at the same time, the Tusken Raiders are pretty easy to cosmetically costume design and everything as well. And I think that's the reason why they're doing it. The only thing is What does a Tusken Raider really look like underneath all that gear? We've never really known, and maybe they can't show themselves. I don't know. It's one of those things that'll always be a mystery, at least to me. And I think in the books they did show, but what does Disney interpret what they look like to be? I don't know. But I want to thank you all for watching. Again, if you're new here, make sure you hit the like button, make sure the subscribe button. I hope this full breakdown helped you out. And I will see you at chapter 3 of the Book of Boba Fett. Anyway, I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.